I've seen this before. Who is that?
That's the guy.
What guy?
You know, the guy we were trying to get to do Nazi stuff. You know, come on, do Nazi stuff.
Oh yeah. Still haven't been able to get him to do Nazi stuff.
No, well, we keep trying.
Look out for Charlie.
I wonder if he'd be willing to do just a little bit of Nazi stuff. Rats.
Alright, I was tipped off to the fact that Brian from High Impact Flix and or Here's the Deal did a video about my cop tricked into shooting by sound weapon system, and I watched it. And listen, man, I commend you fully for having the balls to talk about this, because very few people do. There were a lot of questions, there were a lot of things said that I would like to kind of go over and get into and kind of make sense of it, some of the stuff that wasn't understood, and yeah, and we'll go from there. I would advise that you really go through my channel, and the more you go through my channel, the more you will understand what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from. So let's start with the first thing that was said that I want to address.
And this is a statement, guys. Cops tricked into shooting by sound weapon system. This is a statement of fact. He doesn't say he believes this is what happened. He is saying that he knows this is what happened.
Okay, here's the deal. No pun intended. I've been working with audio my entire life, since I had pubes. Got my first recording equipment, and it encompassed my entire life for years and years. About 14 years ago, something started happening to a family member in my home, and I wanted to get to the bottom of it, so I began to get into this. I will link to other videos beneath this where you can get more information, but the reason why I can say this definitely is because I have worked with this for so long. 14 years ago that happened, and I have worked with this endlessly, that I can look at the sound file spectrally and tell that there is unnatural stuff going on. And it takes a keen eye sometimes it doesn't, but when you see it, you can see it. And then that is when you know there's something up. In some cases, it doesn't appear like there's anything, but you'll see a lot of ELF in a file where there shouldn't be. And that's where you start messing with. You start getting into that ELF and pushing those extremely low frequencies up. And that's when you start getting into what's going on in that case. It's all on a case-by-case basis. Alright? But the reason why I can say that definitely is I can look at a normal sound file from somebody at a skate park and there's really nothing there. I can look at another file and see that it is all over the place because it doesn't operate the way people think it does. So let's keep going.
Question is for me, is there such a thing, before we even get into this guy's video, the question for me is there such a thing as an acoustic weapon? And if you look over the internet, it doesn't take you maybe 3 minutes to find this. There is something called an acoustic weapon. It's also known as long-range acoustic devices and sound cannons. And these sound cannons, according to the reports that I've read that come out of the U.S. military that were created back in 2004, and some of these early crowd control acoustic weapons were actually created in the 1990s, but it was really kind of streamlined by the U.S. and Iraq in 2004.
Okay, let's address that. They haven't needed those sound cannons and that kind of stuff for decades and decades. This weapon has been active as a vast weapon system since people began hearing the hum back in the early 1990s. It uses ELF as a carrier wave and can also use what we can refer to as tinnitus type frequencies and even low ultrasound. The information that they're giving you is all about their ridiculous toys to keep people in the dark as to where they really are technologically. They don't need sound cannons and all that. This is harp-like technology. I'm not saying that it's harp, but these sounds can be documented, and I have documented them underwater, underground, in cave systems, places where radio waves cannot go. It's an acoustic network. And they've even been documented as far as 85,000 feet, where I pulled it out of a fighter pilot's camera, his GoPro or whatever, that he took up into the air with him, and you can hear them there. It's everywhere, chattering along, doing things. They can put the sound anywhere, and that's what it's all about. Now you have to think about this. The possibilities and ramifications of this are diabolical at the least. So what it's doing is it's using ELF as a carrier wave, and it rides on ambient sound. It auto gains, and I can prove this, and I've proven this in other videos on my channel, where you can hear these sounds auto gain on top of other sounds. In fact, I have a hilarious video of a time where I was recording and testing, and I came in from working in the garage to take a pee and flush the toilet, and on my way out you can hear this very clowny Fat Albert demon laugh. It auto gains on other sound. That is how this works. It is everywhere. It's not a cannon. It's not somebody hiding with something that looks like a parabolic mic somewhere, pointing it somewhere. They don't need that. They haven't needed that for decades. I'll throw the demonic demon laugh in here, and then we'll keep going. And then you will hear my boots walking through the house. So I'm going to play it for you. You're going to hear me walking through the house, and then you're going to hear this Fat Albert demon begin to laugh. Check it out. And then the spooky demon said something here. And I continue to walk out of the house. Now, I didn't hear that. I just recorded it, found it later. I don't hear these things. I hear them in the recordings. Some people, sadly, hear them while they're awake, and then they get labeled schizophrenic.
In 2004 it is, and that's the way we should all be. You should question everything that I say. You should question everything that this guy says. You should question definitely what the government and police official story is, and what the fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird and K Ultra Media story is, because they are known to lie to you.
And that is my whole point, because the technology that they are telling you that they have is garbage. It's Mickey Mouse garbage. Woody Norris and his little sound cannon that shoots sound for X amount of feet. It's ridiculous. They are bouncing this off the atmosphere, and it is permeating. ELF is through Earth. You cannot escape ELF. There is no way to escape it. And that's how this stuff works. It is always chattering and rumbling just underneath until it's needed. And I can explain to you how this is used and amplified by AI in high stress situations to cause chaos. I'll get into that in another video. But let's keep going here.
To also have somebody hiding somewhere with an acoustic wave projector.
I've already explained that. They don't need anyone to hide anywhere with an acoustic wave projector, man. And I'm not being a dick. I'm just telling you, it doesn't work like that anymore. They are lying to you, and I have proven it. I can set a recorder out in the middle of the woods, all right? And I can come back, and I can go through that audio and pick up chatter and voices and people talking and car horns out in the middle of nowhere. I've picked up, things that you wouldn't believe in some of these recordings that are absolutely impossible. This learns sounds like an Alexa and it pushes those sounds back into areas, and it's always chattering, and it's always just there right at the ambient sound level until it has a reason to jump up. And it can jump up, and those frequencies are made right around your head or your body, because we are made of water. This is an acoustic network. So I'll keep going here.
That was bizarre to me. Why would you beg law enforcement officers or the high chain of command law enforcement officers to give you audio of their cops sleeping? And
okay, let me tell you why. I have a project that I've been doing for over a year now. It's called Project MK Sleep. This was the reason why I got into this, because one of my family members was being messed with. I have quite a few videos on it. Here it is. It's called Project MK Sleep. I plan on doing 11 different episodes of this over time. The most recent one was a family that was close by. The husband and wife were having problems. The wife was having dreams constantly that her husband was cheating on her. It was making her insecure. It was doing all kinds of things to her. And they wanted to know what was going on. Was this demonic? Was it ghosts? And it wasn't. And I was able to prove that to them and prove that it was technology. Another one that I covered here was Project MK Sleep and Robert Card. Robert Card was the shooter who had the hearing aids put in and then began to hear voices after he had hearing aids put in, high-tech hearing aids. Now think about that for a minute. So let's go to the job that I did for the couple. Now, I told you that they always admit to old technology like it's brand new. You know, I've said that a million times in my videos. In this article, it says scientists have discovered how to break into people's dreams and leave them messages. Some participants found questions coming through a radio, while others heard it like a narrator in a movie. So let's check out what the wife was hearing and what I recorded in their home. Now these messages are always negative, and always put someone in a stressful state of sleep. And this is what they're hearing while they're sleeping. Just like when you're hearing something on the television and you wake up and, you know, you're flying a jet and you wake up and, you know, fucking Top Gun's on or something, right? You are not safe. Here a deeper voice comes in and it says, let them in. Now, last week I was working with a couple who, the woman is having bad dreams all the time, negative dreams, bad dreams, and I just set up and recorded. Now this is based on the idea, which I've done it before, but it wasn't as clear, that many women are getting negative ideas put into their sleep. And I have talked about this before, that a woman may take away the negativity and not know why. If you are being argued with by something for 6 to 8 hours a night, it will wear you out. And there are also negative ideas. You know, what about someone who has a tendency to be insecure? And then those insecure ideas are reinforced for 8 hours a night. So we did recordings for about 2.5 hours, and I took it home and checked it out. I'm allowed to use it. I'm not allowed to use who they are, where they live, etc. This went on and on and on, but I'm going to show you just a couple areas that are very, very interesting. Here is basically a 20-second clip, and it talks about basically cheating, fucking her husband, blah, 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 blah. And this is somebody who's not overtly being affected by, well, you know, weaponized ELF or RF on a daily basis. They're just having bad dreams all the time. Negative dreams, bad dreams. So check this out.
And they're watching camera.
So that first voice says, and they're watching, and then camera.
And they're watching camera. And they're watching camera.
And then it says,
I fucked your husband.
I fucked your husband.
I fucked your husband. We fuck him.
We fuck him.
We fuck him. Husband.
And it says something else about the husband.
Husband. Husband.
So you can understand how a relationship could be dissolved by feeding somebody negative crap all night long. Now it keeps going and going the whole time. It doesn't stop. But I only need to show you a little bit for you to understand. We don't have to go over the whole thing. So it is reaffirming cheating and revelation.
Why would you cheat? Revelation. I'm here.
And that is also, it is two different things at the same time. So I'm not sure exactly what it says.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
So my whole point to that is I want to see what police are having piped in at night. Are they being put in high stress situations for 6-8 hours a night and then put on the job, not hitting REM, being in firefights, arguing? You know, that can fuck you up. And it does fuck people up. These women take away negativity from these kinds of things. This woman was convinced that her husband was cheating, and he was not cheating. And now that she knows what's going on and what it is, they're from what I understand, I didn't dig too far after that, but their relationship is back on track because they understand that it is something nefarious at work and not premonitions of cheating. That is why I was asking for audio of police sleeping, because you can catch and pull this out. Even a regular recorder without doing any work to it will get what I call surface audio every 20-25 minutes, where a word or a sentence will just pop up. And that's how this works. And people are being piped this kind of shit to them while they sleep. That's what I was getting at with that. Everywhere and to everybody.
That's another definitive assertion that this type of thing, this acoustic wave projection, sound weapons technology is happening to everybody, everywhere, all the time.
Because I have documented this everywhere, man. I have gone around and documented this. I've had recordings sent to me, and I have documented this everywhere. And if you go through my channel, you will find it. This ELF based broadcast is everywhere. It doesn't matter whether someone's around. It's being used for surveillance and as a weapon. It's a weaponized surveillance system. There was nothing there, not a sound.
That's not true. That's not true. We backed it up and we went over it 3 times.
What I meant when I said there wasn't anything there is there was nothing that could be taken as a gunshot. There was nothing loud enough on his body cam as someone into sound that he could mistake as a gunshot. That is what I meant by that. And while we're at it, when I said I took the cop's side on this, I didn't mean I was taking the cop's side to unload. I was taking the cop's side because I believe fully that he believed that he heard what he heard, even though it wasn't really there. So that's why I said what I said. Normally, I wouldn't say something like that. But that's why they are using this type of stuff everywhere. It's chaos. There are so many cases on my channel, man. So many cases that you could go through and really, really get a grip on what is going on out there.
I don't know where he is getting this audio file.
Dude, here's what happens. You look at it spectrally, all right, and you find that there is a band that shouldn't be there. There's a band in the 8,000 hertz range, and then there's an ELF band, and you need to push those up. There may be a band that's in the low ultrasound range, because those are the frequencies that they are using for these weapons. I have videos where I show how I push this stuff up. It's not a different audio file. I'm adjusting the frequencies to show what he is hearing. He either heard it and was trying to figure out what was going on, or this one didn't catch his ears.
Okay, so he says that he has knowledge similar to the knowledge that NSA has to pull these wave files out of something.
You're pushing spectrally. You are looking for these signals spectrally, and you are pushing them up or pulling what you don't need down. The NSA will strip away audio until just the hum, the 50 or 60 hertz hum of your power line is on there, and they can track you by the hum from your power lines. That's a fact. And I'm doing basically the same thing to push these audio weapons up so that it can be heard, because every recording records evidence, every single one.
Where, and that right there just makes me scratch my head and go, man, I'm not picking up what you're laying down, man.
Dude, I've got a whole channel for you to check out. It's not monetized. I don't make money from this. They fucked with my family, and it pissed me off. And I've been going at it for online a decade now. So, you know, it's not for nothing.
He's saying that as a statement. He's not saying this could be. He's saying this is what this is.
Dude, I've been working with this for 14 years. When I look at this spectrally and I see the red flags, I know what it is. I just know what it is, and then when I start working with it and I start hearing it come out, it becomes very apparent what it actually is. That's why I'm not just guessing at it. There I could find, you know, there's a lot of cases that people have sent me files on and said, hey, what do you think of this? And I say, you know what, man, it's intriguing, but there's really nothing there. But this had all the signs of audio weapon.
Well, what I would say is, how do we know that somebody didn't manipulate this wave file and then try to sell us all on a bill of goods of an acoustic war machine?
Because, dude, I've been doing this for 10 years, 14 years, 10 years online for no money. And I have hundreds and hundreds of videos on this, dude. It's just, I don't have the time. I have family. I would rather be doing something else. I would rather be, you know, working on my car or making art or, you know, music or hanging out with my family. And it's just, but once you know it's there and people are being killed by it, it becomes a mission. And just the idea is mind-blowing to me that I would ever even do such a thing.
I can't just sit here and say, oh yeah, it's obvious, that was an acoustic wave file, that was an acoustic weapon.
Because you don't understand the spectral fingerprints of it. And once you do, you'll never be able to unsee it. You will always see it. And again, sometimes it's not. But in cases like this, it is.
Military-grade acoustic weapon, it absolutely was. I can't say that. And I don't see how this guy or anybody else can say that.
I've answered that question. I'm not going to answer it again.
He's basically saying, isn't it as plain as the nose on your face?
The people using these weapons to cause these civil wars are ecstatic that they came up with the acorn theory. I know why you laughed at that. I get what you're saying. But once you get into this, dude, and understand that it is being used to promote the mental health narrative, to promote the active shooter narrative, to promote everything that is being promoted right now to usher in, they are using all of this for red flag laws and the police state. That is when it becomes very apparent that this is why they are doing this. This is why they are using these weapons on everybody. And it can be used anywhere. It does not need a sound cannon anymore. The signal is everywhere. It's in your home right now, and I could prove it to you. I could literally prove it to you.
Can you actually adjust a set recording and grab things from other frequencies on one recording without the aid of another recording?
You absolutely can. Just like I said, the NSA can strip away audio just to get the hum of the 50 hertz line and push that up, 25 decibels, and figure out from the pulsing on the line exactly where you were when you made that recording. If there is a voice that is between, let's say, 15,000 hertz and 20,000 hertz, almost unaudible to most people, you can take that and bring it down and make it audible. You can take people's tinnitus, which I've done before, and take their tinnitus sound that isn't really tinnitus, artificial tinnitus, and bring that sound down, and it's garbled voices. There is a lot you can do with audio when you know what you're working with. There's a lot.
Device, is that possible? I don't know.
It is possible. So I hope I explained a little bit of this to you. There's a lot more. I really can't get into it all. It would be hours and hours, man. It's been a 14-year journey for me, 10 of it being online. And there is enough information on my channel alone to keep you reeling and rocking for probably months. But again, I commend you for having the balls to actually take this on and put it on your channel, because most of these people out there are too afraid to do so. Now lastly, after my dad passed away, I had a little bit of time to tweak and kind of finish up a project I was working on called the SWAT Rat. What that does is that takes the loudest sound in the ambient noise level of a room and boosts it up. Something that 9 people might not hear in a room, but 1 person might. It's like a open air Alexa listening. It's a weaponized surveillance system. Now I'm going to show some walking, and it's going to answer. Let's look at the steps down the hallway. I'm going to take a bunch of steps, accentuated, stomping, and a voice is going to come in and it's going to say left foot, flat-footed.
Left foot, flat-footed.
It knows what you are doing. Left foot, flat-footed.
Left foot, flat-footed.
What is the comment for? I don't know. I'm not flat-footed, but it knows that you are walking down the hallway.
Left foot, flat-footed.
This is conducting surveillance, and if you hear it, you are schizophrenic. And it doesn't matter where you are. It isn't just my house. It is everywhere. Here is another stomping down the hall test. I took 10 steps and stopped. Exactly 10. A voice comes in, sounds like a broken speak and spell, and it says 10 steps. Here it is.
10 steps.
10 steps.
10 steps. 10 steps.
Just like a broken speak and spell. 10 steps. It is surveilling what you are doing. This is AI. This is not ghosts and demons. We are talking about technology here. Open air technology. And there's a lot more. I won't play the whole thing, but it's in the video, and I will link to it below. There is so much information on this channel that can get all of you up to speed. I would recommend doing it because people are very, very behind on the times of technology. They think we're in 1956 for real. So again, thank you to Brian from High Impact Flix, and here's the deal, for actually having the balls to cover this. I really appreciate it. Even with the doubt and the questions, I expect that. That's fine. I could have a telephone call with you, man, for 5 hours and explain all of this to you. And once you understand it and really have a grasp on it, it is not hard to understand at all, actually. It's actually very simple. That's it for now. Look out for Charlie.
Come on, do Nazi stuff.
Yeah, why won't he do the Nazi stuff?
Look out for Charlie.